Hello. This is next in a series of videos about how to MC or how to compare. And we've talked about how to introduce a speaker. For example, we've talked about how you need to befriend the audience. But I think another real skill, and again, something that really can separate out those who are experienced pro MCs and those who are just winging it, don't know what they're doing, is the ability to fill time. As an MC, you are responsible for filling time when the wheels come off. And they do far more than you might expect. Maybe there's a technical difficulty. Maybe, God forbid, one of your speakers hasn't shown up or just hasn't turned up at all. Maybe they're not quite ready. Maybe they're still in the loo. There's all sorts of things. It's often technical difficulties. You know, the microphone's not working or the slides have stopped or something like that. You, as the MC, need to step forward and fill that time to keep the audience engaged. If the audience start drifting off mentally or physically, it's very hard to get them back and recapture the energy. So it's always worth having a few things in your back pocket. Here are some suggestions of ways you can fill time. First of all, invite the previous speaker back on and ask them a couple of questions. Now, I wouldn't on the whole throw it out to the audience unless you've got Q&A actually in the timetable, because actually that can get very, very long-winded. And then what you need to be able to do with all these things is be able to cut pretty quickly, say, right, now it's time for our next speaker and get on. But sometimes invite the previous speaker back on and just ask them a couple of questions about what you heard. Another one to do is to ask the audience questions. Maybe you do a straw poll. Quick show of hands, who thought this? Quick show of hands, who's going to take that away? Or ask them, what did you learn from our previous speaker? What was the thing you're going to really take away and adapt in your life or in your business? So ask the audience some questions, really good way to fill time. The other thing you can do, if you are a speaker yourself, is you can actually deliver a bit of your content. This reminds me of, oh, that time when this happened, and here's a story. Or actually, yes, I've adapted some of what that last speaker spoke about. Here's something that I think you might be able to use too. So have some of those sorts of things in your back pocket to fill. The tricky one is probably at the very beginning of the day, because obviously you haven't seen a speaker yet. So you can't start asking people about that. So I would normally go out to an audience and say, what are you really looking forward to today? To which the answer is almost invariably coffee. But it's actually a nice way to go out and just get people to say, oh, I'm really looking forward to this speaker. I'm looking forward to that workshop. Which workshop are you going to today? Is a good question if there are breakout sessions. So if you are going to be emceeing an event, make sure that you have got some time fillers in your back pocket. Some people will have props to hand. They'll have games to play, energizers, all those sorts of things. But it is incumbent upon you, if you're going to be the MC, to fill the time when things go wrong. And as I say, they do, I'm afraid, more often than you might expect. Interestingly, quite often the audience don't even realize things have gone wrong, because all they're aware of is there's some interaction. They're being asked some questions. So don't necessarily preface it by saying, we've got some problems, therefore I'm going to ask you some questions. Just go on and treat it as if this was meant to be anyway. Anyway, hope that's useful. While you're here on YouTube, if you're not already subscribing to my channel, please do hit the subscribe and the bell button down below so that you get notified when I post new content. You can also subscribe to my email newsletter, which is in the description down below this video. See you next time.